48 hours ago, the streets were lined with people. They were cheering. They were calling out, "Hosanna," throwing palm branches before him. Now in John 12, Jesus says this. He says, "The hour has come for the Son of Man to be glorified." He says, "I tell you, unless a kernel of wheat falls to the ground and dies, it remains only a single seed. But if it dies, it produces many seeds." Jesus is saying that he has to die. I mean, he said this before. The disciples have heard this, but now he's saying, no, it's going to happen now. And it's shocking to them. It's beyond what they could imagine, because everything they had seen from this guy, they had believed. He was the Messiah. He was the one that the Old Testament promised that they'd all waited for. And so now he's going to die. He's the King of Israel, and Palm Sunday was like the beginning of his coronation, and so it's entirely upside down. It's entirely shocking when he says, to give you salvation, I have to die. I have to be like this kernel of wheat that dies, that can then produce many seeds. For the disciples, they must have thought, well, we're just getting started. You know, there's this sobering reminder about Holy Week. It's that we can draw up all the plans that we want, but God's plans will prevail. I mean, if you think about the way the disciples would have drawn up how this went, it probably would have been something like this. Jesus goes into Jerusalem and he confronts the Pharisees and he throws these religious people out of the temple. And then he raises up an army and he goes and knocks on Herod's door and he says, "You're out of here, bud." And then he takes on the entire Roman army. And then Jesus becomes king, and everything is made right. And Jesus gets married, and he has babies, and those babies grow up, and they have babies, and there's just king after king after king after king. And that's how it goes forever. And it's a decent plan, but it's really small. And by the way, it would have left people like me that aren't Jewish, would have left us on the outside looking in. Because Jesus' plan was not just to free his own people from Roman oppression. It was to free the entire world from their sin. And it wasn't just something that would last for a lifetime. It would last for all of eternity. You know, our plans are so small. And God's plans are bigger. And it's not enough just to say that God's plans are bigger, but that they're better. And thank God, because he knows so much more than we know. I don't know, maybe it's nourishing to your soul to hear that you don't know everything that God knows. And that's okay, because his plans aren't just different, they're better. His ways aren't just on another course, they're higher than yours. And he has a plan. And thank God it will prevail. See you tomorrow.